Has the unthinkable truly become thinkable in Leafland? Are we seriously contemplating a world where Morgan Rielly, the longest-serving defenseman on this team, could be wearing another jersey? Leafs Nation, brace yourselves. A seismic tremor just ripped through the hockey world, and its epicenter is right here in Toronto. Just yesterday, a bombshell report dropped suggesting that our very own Morgan Rielly might be up for grabs. And the name being whispered as a potential return in a blockbuster deal? None other than three-time Norris Trophy winner, Erik Karlsson of the Pittsburgh Penguins. For over a decade, Morgan Rielly has been the heartbeat of the Maple Leafs blue line. He's been the constant, the offensive catalyst, the guy who logs massive minutes and often carries the load. But let's be brutally honest. This season has been a head-scratcher, a baffling display of defensive inconsistency that has left us all pulling our hair out. The team is bleeding nearly 4 goals a night, and the once unquestionable loyalty to Rielly might just be the next casualty in the desperate urgency to win. Insiders like Chris Johnston and Adam Proteau are fueling this fire, hinting that GM Brad Treliving has reached a critical juncture. The current defensive mix simply isn't working. We've seen a defense that, on paper, is big, long, and experienced, yet it's being shredded night after night. Luke Fox of Sportsnet called it a head-scratcher, and frankly, that's an understatement. It's a full-blown crisis. So why Rielly? Why now? He's in the 4th year of an 8-year, $60 million contract, carrying a $7.5 million cap hit, the largest on our defense. While his offensive production has been there at times, the defensive lapses are glaring, and the spotlight is shining brighter than ever on his overall impact. Chris Johnston, with his finger firmly on the pulse of the league, offered a perspective that shifted the entire narrative. He explained that the Leafs aren't thinking like traditional sellers looking for draft picks. No, this is about something far more immediate, far more drastic. They had to reimagine how they could pivot on the fly, change things, maybe move a player out to bring someone in. Johnston speculated. Move a player out to bring someone in. That, my friends, is the clearest code for a hockey trade you'll ever hear. This isn't about a rebuild. It's about a retool, a desperate attempt to swap a perceived problem for a potential solution. Right here, right now. If Rielly is indeed on the move, who could possibly fill those skates? The logical, albeit audacious, speculation points directly to Erik Karlsson. The fit is almost too perfect to ignore. Karlsson is a right-shot defenseman, a commodity the Leafs have coveted for what feels like an eternity. More importantly, he's one of the most prolific offensive blue liners in NHL history, a true power play quarterback who can single-handedly ignite an attack. The logic, as laid out by Adam Proteau of the Hockey News, is compelling. The Penguins, despite being better than expected, are still saddled with Karlsson's massive contract. A bad contract for bad contract swap, really for Karlsson, with some salary retention, could benefit both sides. It gives Rielly a fresh start, and the Leafs a generational talent on the back end. Proteau explicitly asked, could they offer him Rielly to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Erik Karlsson? The question alone sends shivers down your spine. But before we get too carried away with visions of Karlsson quarterbacking our power play, there's a colossal, almost insurmountable obstacle. Morgan Rielly's full no-movement clause. Johnston was unequivocal on this point. There is no indication, zero indication, there could not be less indication that he would ever want to leave. This clause puts all the power squarely in Rielly's hands. For this trade to even have a pulse, Brad Treliving would need to have a heart-to-heart, a conversation akin to the one they had back in May, and convince Rielly that his time in Toronto has run its course. If Rielly refuses to waive that clause, this earth-shattering rumor dies on the vine. Yet, the very existence of this rumor, leaked, discussed, and dissected by credible insiders, speaks volumes. It suggests that the front office is testing the waters, gauging the temperature. If this defensive sieve continues, the pressure on Rielly to accept a change of scenery, for the good of the team, could become unbearable. Let's not forget the broader context of this season. Yes, The Leafs broke a 5-game losing streak against the St. Louis Blues, but that victory didn't magically erase the underlying issues. The team still has a lot of homework to do. The defense remains porous, and injuries are stalking the roster like a sinister shadow. The inclusion of Rielly and even recently acquired Brandon Carlo on the Athletics trade targets list is a stark reminder that almost no one outside of the core of Matthews, Nylander, and Knies is truly safe. The front office is desperate to shuffle a few things. A trade involving Morgan Rielly for Erik Karlsson would be the most audacious, high-stakes gamble of the trail-living era. It would mean swapping Rielly's stable leadership and long-standing connection to the city for Karlsson's generational, albeit aging, talent. If it happens, it will fundamentally alter the identity of the Toronto Maple Leafs forever. If it doesn't, the mere fact that it was even discussed signals that patience with the old core and the old ways has officially run out. What do you think, Leafs Nation? Is this the move we need to finally push us over the top? Or is it too risky, too much of a gamble? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're ready for some serious change.